240 U.S. Marines storm a fortified Chinese island outpost at 2 a.m. 90 minutes later, a $470 million military installation becomes rubble. This is how America's most elite amphibious force turned night into fire. South China Sea, Scarborough Shoal, November 21, 2025. China had been building on this rock for 18 months. What started as a research station became a fortress, radar arrays, anti-ship missiles, a garrison of 180 troops, underground bunkers carved into coral, all sitting 140 miles from the Philippine coast. A dagger pointed at Manila, a violation of international law, a challenge to American resolve. The outpost represented $470 million in Chinese investment, concrete reinforced with steel rebar, communications equipment linked to mainland command, YJ-18 anti-ship cruise missiles with 340-mile range, each missile carrying a 661-pound warhead, enough firepower to threaten every commercial ship passing through the Luzon Strait. The installation wasn't just a military base, it was a statement, China claiming waters they had no right to claim. Beijing thought distance meant safety, thought international criticism would keep America away, thought wrong. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit had been training for this mission for 6 months. Not generic amphibious assault drills, specific rehearsals on a mock-up of this exact island, built on San Clemente Island off California. Every bunker replicated, every radar position mapped, every approach angle calculated. The Marines knew this Chinese outpost better than the troops defending it. The assault force launched from the USS America 85 miles east of the target, April 2nd, 11:47 p.m. 6 MV-22 Osprey tiltrotor aircraft, each carrying 24 Marines, each aircraft worth $72 million, flying at 280 miles per hour, hugging the wave tops at 50 feet altitude, below Chinese radar coverage, running completely dark, no navigation lights, no radio transmissions, just thermal imaging and GPS coordinates. What's your weapon of choice for night operations? Type A for suppressed weapons and night vision. Type B for overwhelming firepower and shock tactics. The Chinese garrison was confident but complacent. They had early warning radar covering 100 miles in every direction, or so they thought. What they didn't monitor was the undersea approach. At 1:15 a.m., 4 Navy SEAL delivery vehicle teams surfaced 400 yards offshore. Their mission wasn't assault, it was sabotage. Each team carried 80 pounds of C4 plastic explosive. Their targets were specific: the diesel generators powering the radar systems, the communications antenna connecting to mainland China, the ammunition bunker feeding the anti-ship missiles. The SEALs moved through surf so quietly, the Chinese sentries never heard them. Thermal camouflage defeated their infrared sensors. Suppressed Mk-18 rifles eliminated 2 roving patrols without alerting the base. By 1:43 a.m., charges were planted on 3 critical targets, timers set for 2 a.m. exactly. The SEALs withdrew to 600 yards offshore, waited, watched through night vision scopes. The Ospreys reached their insertion point at 1:58 a.m. Perfect timing, perfect coordination. The aircraft transitioned from airplane mode to helicopter mode 2 miles from the island, descending from 500 feet to 20 feet in 40 seconds. Marines gripped their weapons, M4 carbines with thermal optics, M27 infantry automatic rifles, Carl Gustav recoilless rifles for bunker busting, each Marine carrying 120 pounds of gear, each Marine trained for exactly this scenario. At exactly 2 a.m., 3 things happened simultaneously. The SEAL charges detonated. 3 massive explosions ripped through the Chinese base. The generators exploded first. All lights died instantly. Radar screens went dark. Communications severed. The ammunition bunker went next. Secondary explosions as missile propellant ignited, flames shooting 200 feet into the night sky. The communications tower collapsed in a shower of sparks. China just lost contact with their outpost. In that moment of chaos, the Ospreys roared in. Marines fast-roped onto 3 landing zones: North Beach, South Ridge, East Approach, 40 seconds from aircraft to ground. The Chinese garrison stumbled from barracks into hell. Explosions, darkness, enemy troops materializing from the night. Their world had just become a nightmare. The Marine assault followed a precise choreography. Northern teams secured the beach, established a defensive perimeter, set up a mortar position. 2 M224 60mm mortars, ready to drop high-explosive rounds on any counterattack. Southern team rushed the ridge, where the YJ-18 missile launchers sat. These were the priority targets. Take them out, and the island loses its strategic value. Eastern team assaulted the main command bunker, the brain of the operation. Kill the brain, the body dies. Chinese troops tried to organize resistance. 80 men poured from the barracks, armed with QBZ-95 assault rifles, Type 67 machine guns. They had numbers. They had prepared positions. What they didn't have was night vision. What they didn't have was training for this level of violence. What they didn't have was a chance. Marine fire teams moved like ghosts through the smoke and darkness. Thermal optics turned night into day. Every Chinese soldier appeared as a bright human-shaped target. Suppressed weapons eliminated sentries without alerting nearby positions. When suppression wasn't possible, overwhelming firepower destroyed resistance in seconds. The M27 automatic rifles unleashed controlled bursts, 850 rounds per minute, every round finding its target. The Southern team reached the missile launchers at 2:08 a.m., 4 YJ-18 launchers, each containing 2 missiles, $28 million in hardware. The Marines didn't try to capture them. Carl Gustav rounds slammed into the launch vehicles, high-explosive anti-tank warheads designed to penetrate armor. The launchers erupted in fireballs, fuel and warheads cooking off. More secondary explosions. More chaos for the defenders. Don't miss what comes next. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an analysis like this. The Eastern team hit the command bunker with a different approach. This wasn't a structure you could shoot through. 3 feet of reinforced concrete, steel blast doors, built to survive bombing runs. The Marines came prepared. Breaching charges placed on the door hinges, shaped charges that focus explosive force in a precise direction. The charges detonated, the doors blew inward, flashbang grenades followed, disorientation, confusion. Then the Marines flowed in. Room clearing is an art form. Each Marine knows his sector, knows his angles, knows where threats hide. The command bunker had 6 rooms, cleared in 90 seconds, 12 Chinese officers captured, command equipment destroyed with thermite grenades, computers melted, radios slag. The island was now completely isolated from Chinese command. The main Chinese resistance formed at the barracks compound. 60 troops took positions behind sandbags and concrete barriers. Their commanding officer tried to rally them, tried to organize a counterattack. The Marines responded with indirect fire. The mortar teams on the beach started dropping rounds, 60mm high-explosive shells, landing with surgical precision, each round creating a 50-foot kill radius. The Chinese positions disintegrated under the barrage. At 2:23 a.m., Chinese reinforcements tried to arrive. 2 Z-8 transport helicopters inbound from Hainan Island, 240 miles away, carrying 30 troops each. The helicopters never reached the island. Two F-35B Lightning II fighters had been orbiting 40 miles away, invisible to radar, waiting for exactly this scenario. AM-120. AMRAAM missiles launched at 2:25 a.m. The Chinese helicopters exploded over open water. No survivors. China's relief force gone in 8 seconds. The battle was effectively over by 2:35 a.m. 35 minutes from first contact. The Marines controlled every strategic position. The missile launchers destroyed, the command center captured, the garrison scattered or surrendered. American casualties? 3 wounded, none killed. Chinese casualties? 23 killed, 47 wounded, 110 captured. But the Marines weren't finished. The mission wasn't just to raid the island, it was to deny the island. Demolition teams moved through every structure, placed charges on every piece of equipment, the radar arrays, the barracks, the fuel depot, the underground bunkers, everything that made this installation valuable. At 3:15 a.m., the demolition began. Systematic, thorough, professional, each explosion carefully sequenced. The radar arrays collapsed first, then the fuel depot. 50,000 gallons of diesel fuel erupting in a fireball visible for 40 miles. The barracks structures pancaked, the bunkers sealed with their entrances blown. In 15 minutes, $470 million in Chinese infrastructure became worthless rubble. The Ospreys returned at 3:28 a.m. for extraction. The Marines had been on the ground for 88 minutes. They left behind a message carved in concrete with thermite, 7 words in English and Chinese. International waters remain international waters. The final Osprey lifted off at 3:31 a.m. The island burned behind them. Mission complete. What would you have done when you realized U.S. Marines had destroyed your entire base in under an hour? Comment your answer below. The strategic implications rippled across the Pacific within hours. China had spent 18 months building this outpost, spent $470 million fortifying it, garrison it with 180 troops, all of it swept away in one night by 240 Marines. The message was unmistakable. Distance doesn't equal safety. Fortification doesn't guarantee security. American reach extends anywhere American interests are threatened. Beijing's public response came at 8 a.m. Beijing time, condemnation, threats, promises of retaliation. But their private response was different. Within 24 hours, China evacuated 3 other contested outposts in the Spratly Islands. Small garrisons pulled back to larger installations. Construction halted on 2 artificial islands. The psychological impact exceeded the military impact. If America could hit Scarborough Shoal, they could hit anywhere. The operation demonstrated several critical capabilities. First, the ability to conduct joint operations with perfect synchronization. SEALs sabotaging infrastructure, while Marines assault, while fighter jets provide overwatch. Every element coordinated to the second. Second, the effectiveness of realistic training. Those 6 months of rehearsals on the mock-up island paid off. Every Marine knew exactly what to do when boots hit ground. Third, technological superiority in night operations. Chinese troops with conventional equipment never stood a chance against Marines with thermal optics and night vision. Support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up if you found it valuable. The financial analysis revealed the asymmetry of modern warfare. China invested $470 million over 18 months. The United States spent approximately $15 million on the operation. 6 Ospreys burning fuel, ammunition expended, missiles fired. 1 night of work eliminating 18 months of construction. Return on investment? The reassertion of international law in waters China tried to claim. The Philippine government never officially acknowledged American involvement. Didn't need to. The smoking ruins of the Chinese outpost sent the message. Manila's territorial waters would not be dominated by Beijing's artificial islands. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations took note. Vietnam requested increased U.S. naval patrols. Indonesia invited American forces for joint exercises. Malaysia upgraded their defense cooperation agreement. One raid shifted the entire regional balance. American military planners used the operation as a case study. The combination of SEALs and Marines proved devastatingly effective. The SEALs created chaos. The Marines exploited it. The synchronization between special operations and conventional forces became a template. Future amphibious assault training incorporated lessons learned from this night. The Marine Corps published a classified after-action review. 127 pages analyzing every decision, every movement, every shot fired. The equipment performance exceeded expectations. The Ospreys flew 170 miles in contested airspace without detection. The thermal optics gave Marines a decisive advantage in darkness. The suppressed weapons allowed selective engagement without alerting the entire garrison. Even the Carl Gustaf recoilless rifles, a weapon design from the 1940s, proved effective against modern fortifications. Sometimes old technology employed with new tactics outperforms fancy equipment used poorly. The Chinese garrison's failure came down to fundamentals: complacency, inadequate training, over-reliance on technology. They trusted their radar to provide warning, trusted their communications to call for help, trusted their concrete bunkers to provide protection. But radar can be sabotaged. Communications can be severed. Bunkers can be breached. No defensive system is perfect. No fortification is impregnable. The garrison learned this the hard way. The geopolitical aftermath continued for months. China filed protests at the United Nations, claimed the operation violated international law. The irony was thick. China protesting violations of law on an island they built in violation of law. The UN Security Council debate lasted 6 hours, accomplished nothing. But the court of global opinion shifted. China's island-building campaign lost legitimacy. Their claims of peaceful development rang hollow after the world saw their military installations. If you're enjoying this deep dive into modern amphibious operations, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. The operation also sent messages to other potential adversaries. Russia watched closely. Iran took notes. North Korea adjusted their coastal defense plans. The United States demonstrated they could strike fortified positions without warning, could overwhelm defenses with precision and speed, could deny territory without occupying it. This capability complicated every opponent's defensive calculations. For the 240 Marines who executed the raid, the mission validated years of training. The average Marine on that operation had 8 years of service, had deployed 3 times, had trained in urban combat, jungle warfare, mountain operations, and amphibious assault. They represented the culmination of American military investment, not just equipment, not just technology. Human expertise honed to a razor edge. The lessons extended beyond tactics. The operation proved that international law still matters when backed by force, that artificial islands don't change geography, that military installations in contested waters remain targets. China attempted to create facts on the ground through construction. America erased those facts through destruction. The calculus was brutal, but clear. Build what you want. We can destroy it faster than you can build it. The final accounting showed the efficiency of the operation. 88 minutes on the ground, 3 wounded Americans, 23 enemy killed, 47 wounded, 110 captured, $470 million in installations destroyed. 8 YJ-18 missiles eliminated. 1 strategic position denied. 0 American aircraft lost. 0 American lives lost. By any measure, a successful operation. Was this raid a justified defense of international law or an escalation of regional tensions? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The Marine Corps commemorated the operation internally. No public medals, no press releases, just quiet recognition among those who know. A classified commendation in service records, a notation in unit histories, the kind of acknowledgement professionals give to professionals. The job was done right. Nothing more needs saying. The broader strategic picture showed the value of forward deployed forces. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit operates from Okinawa, can reach anywhere in the Western Pacific within hours. This rapid response capability deters aggression. Adversaries must calculate whether their actions will trigger immediate American response. The Scarborough Shoal raid proved that trigger exists, proved it functions, proved it delivers overwhelming force when needed. China's island-building campaign continued elsewhere, but with modifications, larger garrisons, better air defense, more robust communications, all attempts to prevent another Scarborough Shoal. But each modification costs more, requires more troops, creates more vulnerabilities. The Marines imposed a tax on Chinese expansion. Every artificial island now carries the question, can we defend this if America comes? Your engagement directly shapes what we cover next. Drop a comment and subscribe. The operation validated a century of Marine Corps doctrine: aggressive action, speed, violence of action. Amphibious assault requires unique skills, the ability to transition from ship to shore to land combat in minutes. The Marines have perfected this across conflicts from Guadalcanal to Incheon to now. Scarborough Shoal joined the list of successful amphibious operations. Another proof that when America needs a fortified position taken, you send the Marines. The night of April 3, 2024, redrew strategic maps across the Pacific. China's island outposts shifted from assets to liabilities. Beijing had to garrison them heavier, defend them harder, all while knowing American forces demonstrated the ability to strike them at will. The Marines turned one island into rubble. The implications affected dozens of islands. That's strategic leverage from a single tactical operation. 88 minutes, 240 Marines, $470 million of Chinese infrastructure reduced to smoking wreckage. This is what American power looks like when deployed with precision and purpose. This is why adversaries think twice before challenging international law. This is why fortified outposts in contested waters remain contested. Because when push comes to shove, America pushes back with overwhelming force delivered in the darkness by warriors who train for exactly this mission. The message to Beijing was clear. Build what you want. We can destroy it. Claim what you want. We'll challenge it. Fortify what you want. We'll breach it. The South China Sea remains international waters not because of treaties or diplomacy alone. It remains international because American Marines can turn night into fire and reduce fortresses to rubble in less time than it takes to watch a movie. What weapon system do you think was most critical to mission success? What should America's next move be in contested waters? And how should China respond without triggering further escalation? 3 questions, 3 opportunities to share your strategic thinking. Drop your analysis in the comments below. If you made it this far, you're exactly who we make these videos for. The details matter. The tactics matter. The implications matter. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, ring the bell. Because military operations like this deserve serious analysis. Your support funds the research. Your engagement drives the content. Together, we break down how modern warfare actually works when the world's most capable amphibious force decides an island needs to burn.